There is a type of person about whom you can say a lot of good things and at the same time a lot of bad things. They perform feats, but they also have significant shortcomings. Usually such people live a busy life, full of adventures and adventures. Such a person was and Alexander Marinesco. Alexander Ivanovich Marinesco was born in Odessa in 1913. He has Ukrainian and Romanian roots. Proximity to the sea influenced the boy's future life. He wanted to become a sailor. At that time, Odessa was considered quite a criminal city, which, of course, affected Sasha. He strived for adventure and adventure. It is said that the younger Marinesco even participated in robberies as a child, although there is no direct evidence of this. At the age of 13, the willful and irascible Alexander became a sailor's apprentice and immediately proved himself perfectly. Thanks to this recommendation, he became a student at the School of Jungs, and then enters the Odessa Maritime Technical School, which graduates in 20 years with honors. Marinesco then believed that his vocation to command a merchant ship. But contrary to plans, Alexander is sent to serve in the Navy. Thanks to this, he becomes a graduate of the highest courses of command staff, and later, navigator of the Szech 306, a submarine of the Baltic Fleet. In 1936, Alexander Marinesco became a lieutenant. He was poorly disciplined and acted as the main figure in various bad stories. At the same time, was a marine professional, which was noted by the leadership. So Alexander became the commander of Malyutka, submarine M96. War years. During the Great Patriotic War, the submarine Marinesco successfully performed many combat tasks, sinking German ships, landing reconnaissance teams, etc. In 1943, Marinesco commanded another submarine, S-13. On it, he made his main feats. Nevertheless, the ardor of the Odessa did not temper this, and he continued to drink and hooliganism, truancy, and lateness. For this, he received numerous reprimands and once even almost got under the tribunal. Only a miracle could save him from this, and it happened. Submarine C-13 was sent to the penalty campaign and was able to sink the Wilhelm Gustloff, a giant at that time, the liner Germans. There were over 10,000 people on board, servicemen, cadets, and most of the refugees. Conclusion and last years. At the end of the 40s, Alexander Marinesco left the sea. Against the background of alcohol consumption, he began to have health problems, and he was dismissed with the wording in connection with promiscuity, drunkenness, and negligence. After his dismissal, he worked at the Leningrad Research Institute, specializing in blood transfusion. Here Alexander took the post of deputy director. In 1949, he was sentenced to 3 years for embezzlement. It was said that Marinesco was framed by his boss. Allegedly, he stole and distributed peat briquettes, used for heating, to his colleagues and took a bed for himself. Whether it is true or not, no one will ever know. Almost immediately after the trial, Alexander was taken to the Far East to serve his sentence. There were problems already at the transfer. The headman of the carriage, where Marinesco was traveling, was a policeman from Leningrad, who gathered bandits around him. They were also in charge of food distribution. Naturally, the bandits had much better food than the others. Many people did not like it, but nothing could be done about it. Alexander didn't think so. Little by little, Marinesco picked up like-minded people. They turned out to be former sailors. Among them was a 23-year-old diver who was remarkable for his strength. During the next food distribution, he put a bowl of food on the head of the headman and a scuffle broke out. As a result, the bandits quieted down and no longer tried to dominate. Marinesco's team started to distribute food. People began to respect him a lot. He did not offend them and gave everyone a fair portion of food. Alexander Marinesco served his term in the Khabarovsk territory, in the village of Vanino. As he himself recalls, it was hard there, but the Pakhan of the prison favored sailors, and especially Marinesco, given his services to the motherland. He tried to keep himself apart. He worked in the port and immediately earned respect, as he could skillfully distribute cargo. For this, the crew even called him captain. Then he worked at a fish factory. He was respected by absolutely everyone. At the same time, he enjoyed much more privileges than other prisoners, but he did not allow himself too much and did not even drink much. Alexander Ivanovich Marinesco lived his last years ingloriously. He could not give up alcohol. His colleagues, out of respect for him, managed to knock out for him a decent pension of a captain. 3 years later, Marinesco died of cancer, buried in St. Petersburg. For awarding him an honorable award, Hero of the Soviet Union, for many years fought veterans of the Navy. Thus, Alexander Marinesco received the title only in 1990, on the 5th May.